All right, joining us today on Pirate Radio Live, former Pirate great, now with the Arlington Renegades, and the host of the Holton Ahlers Show is Holton Ahlers joining us on the program. What's up, Holt?
Clip, what's up, man? How are you?
Doing good. Hitting the lean time in the sports calendar. In fact, very lean last night. No NBA Finals or Stanley Cup Final game on. I feel like we should at least have one on every night, so I don't know what they're doing there, but how much you following the NBA with your Knicks out of it?
Still following it. I've told myself I was going to watch games. I just haven't yet. I've been busy. We got a wedding coming up here soon in a couple days, really. So just all that planning. And but yeah, I've been following them. I'm trying to catch the next game tonight, hopefully, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm honestly surprised the Pacers even won one game. So good luck to them, I guess.
Well, it followed the formula of what we've seen a lot in this playoffs, and that's road teams being down and just coming back and winning at the end. And your team was able to do that twice against Boston. I think your team even gave up some of those leads as well. So that's kind of been one of the big themes of this playoffs.
Yeah, it has. I mean, it makes it fun. It's definitely entertaining if you watch it. I know a lot of people are like not against watching the NBA, but like NBA playoffs is very fun to watch, especially if you have a team who really enjoyed it. And then like even watching other teams and following storylines of NBA, and I mean obviously the NFL does a good job of keeping storylines, year round. But I think the NBA does, a really good job of that too. So even when the playoffs are done, I mean you got to think summer league. If you have a team, that's really fun to watch rookies and young guys play, and then you get draft. Like all of those things, they do a good job of keeping the off season entertaining, and then college football's here, and then we're all going to be entertained.
Last week we talked to you about some potential names for the next Knicks head coach, and I threw out Jay Wright, and I don't know how serious it was, but I did see, I guess he made a statement, right, that he would not be the next coach of the Knicks. So where are we at right now as far as the Knicks finding a head coach?
Yeah, from everything I've heard, we wanted Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd wanted us, but the Mavs wouldn't give us permission to even interview him, which kind of sucks. So we're going to move on from there. Johnny Bryant was a long-time Knicks assistant young guy. He was with the Cavs. He had number 2 with the Cavs this past year. I think he's going to be the one who ends up with it, which I would like. It's not like a big name. It's a big name within the Knicks community. Like I've known who he is for a while, and he's supposed to be able to develop talent and stuff like natural not a massive name. So I think him. Other than that, man, I don't know. It's kind of the weird period of like, yesterday we got the news that Jason Kidd wasn't gonna, interview. So now it's just kind of a waiting period of saying, okay, do we hire Johnny Bryant or are we gonna go find someone else?
Why don't you just go Little League style and make Brunson's dad the coach, and he can call the shots?
Hey, I'm for it. He was the number 2 this year. I mean, look, he's honestly qualified for the job, but no, they definitely won't do that.
Yeah.
But I do think whoever comes in to be the head coach should keep him on the staff. Look, Jalen Brunson gave up literally over $100 million to be with the Knicks. Just keep him happy. Give his dad $2 million a year and just let him be an assistant coach.
Holton Ahlers joining us. Holt got the UFL championship coming up. I guess Skip Holtz will not be winning one this year.
He will not be. Yeah.
All right.
It's new era,
the reign of terror is over in Birmingham, but Cornell Powell has got a hell of a trophy case already from his time at Clemson and Kansas City, and now trying to add a UFL ring to the mix.
He is, dude. He's literally won everywhere he's been. So he's been part of some really, really good teams. That'll be a good game. I know, if you happen to watch on TV or if you plan on watching it, it'll be a good game. Really good teams with a lot of talent who will play in the NFL, and hopefully Cornell's one of those. He's had a really good year this year.
Holton Ahlers Show can be seen, Pirate Radio TV, and follow Holton Ahlers Show on social media. And had a great guest in a new room. How about, first of all, the new podcast digs you got there?
Yeah, dude, we did. We kind of invested into a new look studio for us to, try to take this thing to the next level. And Darrell Roberts was an amazing guest for one. We thought he was really, really interesting. We're trying to make more of our podcast timeless to where no matter when you listen to it, it's still a good interview. Yeah. Whereas, instead of going our stuff is with, obviously with you, Clip, so we can go over, weekly things. And then, we're trying to make it more timeless so people can just scroll through, pick their top guests, and just listen to it. And that was kind of us investing into that. And, that was kind of the first start of it.
Was Roberts here when you were here, or did he come in after you left?
He was a year after me.
Yeah.
So crazy connection though. So he obviously was with Donnie, and then we talked about like how did he last through first of all an offensive staff change. He was with Donnie. They fired the whole offensive staff. He stayed, so he went through that, and then the next year he made it through a head coaching staff change. So I was like,
Yeah.
first of all, how stressful that was, and how did you do it? Why do you think you were the guy to make it through both? Most people can't say they made it through one. He made it through both. It was really, really interesting conversation. I'm glad, we got to sit him down. Obviously, it's the busiest time of the year. They're busy all the time, but right now with recruiting and stuff, they're certainly busy.
He is a super high energy guy. I love talking to him. Holton, who were the high energy guys on your staff? Guys that were always, for good or bad, yelling, clapping, getting the team fired up, or getting in the team's butt if they needed it. Who's that guy?
Yeah, I mean, trying to think. I mean, defense had a lot of them, which was obviously led by Blake Carroll, which you're seeing the team have now.
I hear Tesh is a maniac out there.
Honestly, that's the next goal is to get him on the podcast next week. So we're reaching out to him literally today to see if we can get him on. So that'd be a really good interview.
Yeah.
The defense was more, by the time my older years, the offensive staff was more like older guys who have been with, like staff wise, like Donnie, Latrell Scott. Some of those guys were guys who have seen a lot of ball. And then, even the players my senior year were older guys who didn't need a lot of rah-rah.
Right.
Like we just knew what we had to do and get out there and play. Whereas like the defense, Harold came in and brought this energy. And you've heard us joke about it that like the night before games, Harold would have them turned up in the other room. And then Donnie would be going over the film in our room. And we're like, them defensive guys are ready to roll. So it's just a different vibe, man. I think, rah-rah wise, it was always just the defensive guys. And then offensively, it was the players who kind of, would do that.
Holton Ahlers joining us. Holt, a little homework for you, but you probably were going to do this anyway, but kind of a show idea or at least a topic we'll talk about. But college quarterbacks going into this season and who's where, who do you like, who's got a great marriage between coach, quarterback, and scheme and all that. But we were talking about it with Mac yesterday, Coach Mac, and he said that, really only with, I think, one of the top 10 teams has like a full-time starter returning, and that would be Penn State and Drew Aller. And outside of that, it's either a transfer quarterback or a guy that didn't play or start full-time last year. So he said, a lot of those big boys are going to be fine anyway, but there are question marks with quarterbacks with these big teams coming into this season.
Yeah, I mean, what you start to realize is, we've known all along, especially as a quarterback, is the quarterback can only be as good as, who he's surrounded by. So a lot of these schools are filling up on massive talent around these guys where you can get a guy come in for, like Ohio State last year with Will Howard. Him going in to that Ohio State thing and being so successful has just kind of made sense.
Speaking of Will Howard, Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers, and Rodgers spoke for the first time since becoming a Steeler yesterday and said that he was basically going to give Will Howard everything he needs to succeed during his career. But how about the Rodgers move to Pittsburgh? Does that change your opinion on the Steelers at all? What do you think about 40-plus-year-old Aaron Rodgers playing this year?
I like it. He doesn't got to go be. I like the response. First of all, like Aaron Rodgers isn't always guaranteed to act that way, and he acted that way and seemed like the guy who wasn't afraid to mentor someone. But yeah, I mean, I like the fit. Obviously, they got DK Metcalf now. They've won. I mean, Mike Tomlin's one of the best head coaches in the NFL, if not the best, at just winning with whatever he has.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see that, and I think he fits good. I mean, like I said, he's with a head coach who doesn't need a quarterback to win games, and now hopefully he has one. So we'll see. I thought it was honestly kind of weird and like how low key it was. Just they like reported Aaron Rodgers is showing up to minicamp. Aaron Rodgers is still a big name, even though he didn't have a good year last year. They made it very low key. So I'm excited about it though.
And have you did you watch the Rodgers documentary that came out last year or whatever?
I still haven't. I still have not watched a few clips of it. I mean, I've heard a ton of stories about him, so I can imagine, but I still haven't watched it yet.
There was more football in it than I thought there'd be, which I enjoyed. And part of it was Rodgers basically Brett Favre looking at him more like a nuisance than a teammate, it seemed like. And Rodgers kind of learning from that. And apparently he was a great teammate to Jordan Love. And now, we'll do the same to Will Howard. So maybe Rodgers is not that kind of guy, offhand, but he kind of learned from maybe Brett Favre's mistakes and is that kind of teammate now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, everything I've heard is he was good to Jordan Love, and they still have a good relationship. And
Yeah.
I think I remember him handling that, situation well. So yeah, I mean, and I think him going into Pittsburgh, like he is like legit old now to where like even when Jordan Love was drafted, he was first round draft pick, kind of the one taking over for Aaron Rodgers. Whereas, Aaron Rodgers with Pittsburgh is almost like a filler until Will Howard's ready if everything goes to plan.
Jared, you want him to say something good about Geno Smith? Will that make you feel good? Okay. What kind of teammate was Geno Smith, Holt?
Geno's a great teammate. I'm very excited. I'm actually really pulling for those guys. I love Pete Carroll. I think it's a perfect fit. I mean, if you look at the Raiders, they haven't had a quarterback and they haven't had a head coach who's been steady for years. And I think they're got two guys who will be steady for 3 to 4 years. And hopefully then you get the next,
Yeah.
wave of people coming in and really take over.
Feed Brock Bowers, and you'll be just fine. All right, Holt.
Yeah, and
Well,
Ashton Genty, man.
yeah. We said the other day on the show, who is the next running back to rush for 2,000 yards in the NFL? And, of course, Jared immediately said Genty. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I thought about it, and I don't know. He might be my answer. You want a young –
and a low-key move by them was getting Chip Kelly, too. That's a good move, too. So we'll see.
There you go. Holt, thanks for joining us, man. We will check in with you again next week. Everybody check out the Holton Ahlers Show with Darrell Roberts. Great interview. And we'll talk to you soon, Holt.
Yes, sir. See you, Clip.